Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I was trying to come up with ideas for what to do for today's video, I found this article on Sports Illustrated by Connor Orr, which is 100 bold predictions for the 2025 NFL season. I thought it might be fun to go through these and, give you my reactions and my thoughts on whatever it is he says. I haven't looked through this yet. This is a first read through. This is my live reaction to whatever is on this list. And I encourage you all to go and read this article for yourselves if you find this sort of thing interesting. So let's get started. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Number 1, the Buffalo Bills will defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl. What is that, 60? I think, 60. I don't think that's too outlandish of a take. I think the Eagles, absolutely, I agree, should be the favorites in the NFC. The Bills, I have a couple questions about their receiver room specifically. I don't know that Keon Coleman is the guy. Josh Palmer does interest me quite a bit. I think Josh Palmer could be something for Buffalo, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think this is mostly a fine take. But I think I would put the Ravens over the Bills right now. Me personally, at least. Number 2, Josh Allen will win Super Bowl MVP. This ties in to the first one. And if he makes it and they win, sure. I don't necessarily think I agree with this one. Mostly because I think the Eagles will win another Super Bowl. I don't think they got significantly worse in the offseason. I think they added a lot of interesting talent. So right now the Eagles are probably my favorites to win the Super Bowl. I don't think I had them winning in the prediction that I did a while back. I don't know if I had the Eagles winning or not. It was so long ago at this point. I'll have to go and revisit it. But where I stand right now, I'd say the Eagles are the favorites to win. Number 3, the New Orleans Saints will be the number 1 pick in the 2026 draft. Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think the Saints are bad. I don't think, there's very little I look at on the Saints roster and feel hopeful about. I like Chris Olave as a player. I'm a real big fan of him, actually. I really liked him coming out of that draft class. He's had some serious concerns with injuries, specifically concussions, and I don't know what he's going to look like. I don't like Tyler Shock at all. I am not buying into the hype. I don't even know where it came from. I watch Tyler Shock tape, and I look and I see a bad quarterback. I don't see anything there, and he's 26. I hated the pick by the Saints. I think it was the worst pick in the draft, easily, taking Tyler Shock. The problem is, I don't really like any of their other options either. What is it? Spencer Rattler, and I can't remember the other guy that was also drafted pretty recently. Yeah, I don't even know who it is, but New Orleans Saints, they're bad, man. The city of New Orleans, I will say this always, deserves better sports teams than what they have. They've suffered enough. But yeah, the Saints, their defense, they just lost Paulson Adebo. They lost, was it that safety that they lost, or was it another corner? I can't quite remember. Michael Thomas is essentially retired. Not that he really matters, but Cam Jordan is on a massive contract, and he's been basically unplayable for 3 years. Taysom Hill is there for some reason. I don't know. It's a bad roster. And yeah, I think they will have the number 1 pick in the 2026 draft. Number 4, but the Saints won't be drafting Arch Manning. I agree as well. There's no way that Arch Manning is going to declare for the draft or after only a season of eligibility. It's just not happening. We don't know anything about Arch Manning. I mean, he's shown some flashes for sure. There's stuff to like about him. We have not seen enough at all of Arch Manning to definitively say that he's going to be the first overall pick next year. I think that's a pipe dream, especially because I just don't think he's going to declare next year. I don't even know if he declares in 2027, but next year, absolutely not. There's no way. Number 5, at least 2 NCAA head coaches will receive serious overtures for NFL head coaching positions. I think we might still be a year out from that. I think the NFL is pretty trepid about bringing in college coaches, especially because Matt Rule flunked out and Urban Meyer flunked out, and we just haven't really seen it work to a huge degree. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's back, yeah, but I mean, it's Jim Harbaugh. He was a good coach before he left for college. Let's see here. He lists Steve Sarkisian, Marcus Freeman, Ryan Day, Matt Campbell, Deion Sanders, David Shaw, and Lincoln Riley. If it's anyone, I could see Lincoln Riley. But even then, like I think we need a little bit more time for that. I don't necessarily agree with this one. But if anyone out of college is going to get a shot in the NFL next year, it's probably Lincoln Riley. Do I want to throw my own bold take out there and say he's going to be a potential coach for the Steelers? Maybe, I don't know, but maybe that's for another video. Number 6, the NFL will score massive wins on the legislative front over the next calendar year. The NFL was forced into a corner in terms of becoming a beacon of moral responsibility, given its position on social lightning rod. Instead of battling president this time around, Roger Goodell and 32 team owners was talking to a slipstream in order to disassemble restrictionized use such as broadcasting games whenever the league wants. For example, expect the league to play ball through 2027 when the president will likely have a significant role in broadcasting of the draft from Washington, D.C. I don't really have anything to say about this one. As much as I look into the NFL and I'm fascinated by team construction and I don't know anything about the legal aspect of the NFL, so I don't think I have a very high ability to make a comment on this, but what he's saying here makes a lot of sense, so sure. Number 7, Derek Carr will appear in an NFL game. I don't think so. Not this season. Maybe next year, but this year I think he is 100% taking the full year off to reevaluate his shoulder, and then maybe coming back next year just to see if he still has anything left. So I disagree with number 7 here. I don't think Derek Carr will appear in an NFL game this season in 2025. Kyler Murray will play his final snaps for the Cardinals. I think that's fair. I think that is a fair assessment. It feels like we've been waiting for Kyler Murray to take the next step every year for the last 5. And it's, based on how the salary cap has gone and how contracts work in the NFL, Kyler Murray's contract really isn't all that significant now. I mean, back when he signed it, everyone thought it was insane, but looking at the numbers now, his contract just isn't that big of a deal. So yeah, I do believe, especially if the Cardinals miss the playoffs or they fire Jonathan Gannon, which I like Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon's really grown on me over the last 2 years. But I think if the Cardinals have a mediocre year, which I expect them to, I think, I do see the logic here, and I do kind of agree with Kyler Murray being sent out to pasture, basically. All right, number 9, and what am I saying? An ultimately baseless but still fantastical and widely spread allegation of sign stealing will arise against North Carolina head coach Bill Belichick and members of Belichick Productions. For sure. Why not? Sure. I think Bill Belichick going to North Carolina to be their coach is kind of a joke. My opinion of Bill Belichick has also significantly tanked since he lost Brady. I don't know if I really want to get into my opinion of Bill Belichick here. I don't think it's quite appropriate for the kind of content I make on this channel, but sure, why not? Mike Vrabel will win Coach of the Year. I completely disagree. I think it's Ben Johnson's. I think it's Ben Johnson's award to lose. Like just straight out of the gate. I think it's Ben Johnson's award to lose. And I think he has a much easier task of winning that award because the Patriots, I think, have one of the hardest schedules in the league. I'd have to go back and look at it again, but I think their schedule is very difficult this year, and I think the Bears are just in a better position to win right now. So I disagree with this completely. Ashton Genty will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, sure, that's fine. That's fair. Abdul Carter will finish the season with 6 sacks. Again, I think that's fair. Nothing really to say about that. I think that's a fine prediction, especially on the... Actually, you know what? If he's on the Giants defense and he's there playing a mostly cleanup role, which I expect him to do as a rookie because they have Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence, if he's playing primary cleanup role for like the first couple games, I could see him exceeding that, actually. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say Abdul Carter will have 8.5 sacks to finish his rookie year. That is my prediction. 13, NFL teams will pass less in 2025. Disagree. I disagree. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I understand the logic that he's coming from. From this aspect, I understand where he's coming from, especially with how good the running back class is this year. But I don't think it'll be less than 2024. I think it'll be at about the same level as last year. 14, Christian McCaffrey will win comeback player of the year. I disagree. I don't believe that even for a second. I think Christian McCaffrey's time in the spotlight is essentially over. I don't think he's going to get used as heavily. I think they're going to transition to more of a system approach with their running backs in San Francisco. I don't think he's going to be anything spectacular. Granted, I don't know who the other candidates would be. I don't think it's going to be Nick Chubb. I don't think Burrow missed significant time this year, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think Herbert did. Off the top of my head, I don't know who else would compete for this award, but I just don't see it being Christian McCaffrey. As much as I hate to say it, I think Christian McCaffrey's glory days are in the rear view. I think it is the end for him, which sucks because I am a big fan of Christian McCaffrey. 15, I almost missed this. Some bro in your fantasy football league who went to Arizona in the 1990s and still views the Wildcats as a premier athletic program will insist he got the steal of the draft after haughtily selecting Ted McMillan in the 11th round of your draft. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. There's a guy in my fantasy league that really likes Ted McMillan, so he'll probably do this unless of course I steal Ted McMillan from him. So we'll see. 16, Matthew Stafford will drop 4,000 passing yards for the first time. I agree. I completely agree. A lot of you, if you've watched my content before, probably know that I'm a big believer in Matthew Stafford. I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of the Rams. As far as my content goes, I pick them all the time. I wouldn't exactly call myself a Rams fan because I don't live anywhere near the West Coast, but I do love Stafford. I do love Sean McVay. I do love Puka. And I think it's a really good team. I think the Rams are a really good team. They're my dark horse candidate for the Super Bowl. They were last year too, and we all know how that went, but I agree with this. 100% Matthew Stafford, 4,000 yards. I'm on board. Jason Kelsey will leave ESPN to join the Eagles in some professional capacity. Brandon Graham will also join the Eagles in an official capacity. Yeah, I could see it. Position coaches or some form of media, something like that. I could see it for both of those guys. They're both legends. They're both getting in the Ring of Honor, for sure. for that team, so good for them. Number 18, the NFL will float a trial balloon for a draft lottery as the sport drifts further and further away from an actual athletic competition, more into an engine for various pieces of content. I disagree. I disagree completely. I like whatever controversies Roger Goodell has, and I don't think there are many. I think Roger Goodell has done a very good job at understanding that the best way to draw in viewers is to have a competitive sport. And one of the best ways to maintain a competitive sport is to allow bad teams ways to stop being bad. And if you add a draft lottery that utterly destroys the ability for bad teams to ever be good, we see it in the NBA, we see it in the NHL, we see it in the MLB. Well, not so much the MLB, because the MLB draft means fucking nothing, but in the NBA specifically, especially with the Mavericks getting the first overall pick, a draft lottery is terrible. I don't think even for a second, no, I don't believe this for a second, that they will implement any sort of draft lottery. Not even a second. I disagree with number 18 completely. I think that's a bad take. Number 19, the Super Bowl halftime show will feature a veritable slop of new country artists. You know what? Actually, yeah. I could see that. I know there's been some controversy lately that because Jay-Z has a huge say in who gets the Super Bowl now that it's Apple instead of Pepsi. I don't know the exact technicalities of it. I don't really care the exact technicalities, but I understand that Jay-Z has a pretty substantial voice in that that selection for who gets picked. And I don't know what his relationship to country is, but I can definitely see the push for this new modern pop country that's, in my opinion, not all that exciting of a genre, but it is wildly popular. It is a hugely popular genre. I understand that. A lot of people like it. It's like hip-hop was 10 years ago, so this makes sense to me. I understand that. Number 20, the San Francisco 49ers will win 12 games. I mean, I can see where they're coming from with this because the Niners have a really easy schedule, but I just can't get on that train. They lost a lot of guys in free agency this year. I think they're going to need some time to really start gelling again. I think 10 wins you could sell me on. 12, I think, is a bit of a stretch. So maybe not on that one. Number 21, Anthony Richardson will win the Colts QB job out of camp. No. Anthony Richardson, I really liked coming out of college. I was a huge believer in Anthony Richardson. The Anthony Richardson experiment is over. Anthony Richardson is a historically bad passer in the NFL and has not shown any sign of improvement in that regard. And it is a passing league, all right? Like, you got to have an accurate quarterback, and Anthony Richardson just isn't that. Daniel Jones, despite his flaws, is mostly accurate as long as you don't ask him to throw it 90 yards. But just on the accuracy factor alone, there's no way. I genuinely, to me, it would take a miracle for Anthony Richardson to win the Colts QB job. And this article, I believe, was written before he got hurt, before he had that shoulder thing a couple weeks ago. So, taking that into account as well. But even before that injury, I did not believe for a second that Anthony Richardson was going to be the starter in Indy. I think it's over for him. You hate to say it, you hate to see it, but I think it's over for Anthony Richardson. Number 22, the Caleb Williams noise won't die down. Caleb Williams is a very, I don't want to say controversial because it's not really controversial. I'll say polarizing, I think, is the more appropriate word. And some will say those are cinnamons. Yes, cinnamons, guys. Some will say that is a synonym, of course, but two different words, two different meanings. Language is power. We need to remember that in today's day and age. But there's always going to be a story about Caleb Williams. I think it's just part of who he is as a prospect at this point. Shooter Sanders is also kind of this way as well. 22 makes sense. Number 23, the Arizona Cardinals at 8.5 wins. Miami Dolphins 8.5, and the Commanders 9.5 will fail to surpass their Vegas projected win totals. I'd say yes on the Cardinals and the Dolphins. Commanders, I could see winning 10. I could see the Commanders winning 10 games. So this is 2 out of 3 here, which is very appropriate because this is this is take number 23. So 2 out of 3, 2/3 there. 24, the Dallas Cowboys at 7.5, New York Giants at 5.5, Seattle Seahawks at 8.5, and Vegas Raiders at 6.5 will surpass their Vegas projected win totals. This is the Jets, not Giants. Jets, I could see them winning 6. I could see them winning 6. The Cowboys, if I really think about it, sure, maybe they're an 8 and 9 team. I'm not a huge believer in the Cowboys, but yeah, sure. Seahawks, sure. I could see them winning 10 games as well. And the Raiders at 6.5. Yeah, I could see the Raiders going like 8 and 9, 9 and 8. So yeah, 4 out of 4 here. I think this is fair. Like when I first read it, it kind of stuck out, and I thought, maybe not. But when I do some deeper thinking there, yeah, this is fair. This is fine. Number 25, Marvin Harrison Jr. and James Conner will combine for more than 20 touchdowns. I think that's fair. That's perfectly fine. The Cardinals did not spend a pick on offense until round 7, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think this is very fair. They didn't really get any competition for their roles. James Conner just turned 30, of course, but he had a great year last year. I think this is a perfectly reasonable take. Number 26, Mac Jones will absolutely rip it up against the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football. I don't even remember what team Mac Jones is on right now. Oh, he's in, that's right, he's in San Francisco now. That's right. He is now in San Francisco. I think everyone in that 2020 draft or 2021 draft ended up on the team that people thought they were going to be on. Because Justin Fields ended up in New York. Trey Lance never went anywhere. Well, Trey Lance kind of ruins that, actually, but Mac Jones will rip it up against the Panthers. I don't think so, but sure. If that's what this guy wants to believe. Number 27, the Jets will trade Breece Hall before the season opener. I don't think it'll be before the season opener. I think it'll be probably at the end of the season. Breece Hall as a player, very talented, but he's not the guy that people think he is, in my mind. A lot of people have him like at the upper echelon of like a Bijan Robinson or a Derrick Henry. I just don't see him that way. The way that he operates his vision, his running style, it really doesn't seem sustainable to me. And I think Braylon Allen has more explosiveness, and I think they will make the switch. I don't think they're gonna pay Breece Hall. I think his contract is up this year. I don't know exactly. It might be up next year. I'd have to go and check again because I don't remember exactly when or where he was drafted. But I don't believe for even a second the Jets are going to pay Breece Hall. So I do think Breece Hall will get traded. I just don't think it'll be before the season opener. I think it'll be either at the deadline if they're bad or if they make the playoffs in the offseason. 28, Trey Hendrickson will ultimately cave. Probably. I think the Bengals just give him a 3-year deal and call it good, but he'll probably cave and just play on the contract he has, because then he can leave, right? You play on the contract you have, and then you can leave. Maybe you make less money, whatever. But if I were the Bengals, I would listen to Joe Burrow and just sign the guy for 3 years. Like, who cares, right? Who cares? Sign him to 3 years. If you get 2 out of those 4 years, right? Because you're signing him for 3 years, you're probably adding those 3 years instead of reworking a 1-year deal into a 3-year deal. I mean, you could do that, but who's to say that's what they want to do? But I would just sign him to a 3-year extension. Whatever. If you get 2 out of those 3 to 4 years of solid production, it's a worthwhile contract. That's how I see it. I think Trey Hendrickson is worth that. Yes, he would play until he was 34, but Khalil Mack did that. Khalil Mack played until he was old as dirt. Edge rushers age mostly fine into their mid-30s. I think Trey Hendrickson is worth a 3-year deal. That's just my take, but he will probably cave before preseason starts in August, so I agree with that. Number 29, the Jacksonville Jaguars will fail to finish in the top 20 in rushing defense. Yeah, the interior of that defensive line is stark. I can see that for sure. Okay, 29, 30. A late season New York Giants game will feature 38 carries from 4th-round pick Cam Scatabo. Let me lay it on you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a believer in Cam Scatabo, so I disagree with this, but I know a lot of people like the guy. But why are you running the ball 38 times for one guy? That's nuts. How bad is the game going that I don't know. Number 31, 6 NFL head coaching vacancies will emerge at the conclusion of this season. Let me think. Colts are probably in the lead for me right now with how the league is. And I like Shane Steichen. I think he definitely has a shot at being a very solid coach. But the way that the Colts have gone, I wouldn't be shocked if he's out, especially, of course, with the tragic passing of Jim Irsay. His daughter might not be on the same page that he was, so a lot of things could happen there. But the Colts, I think, would be number 1. Let me think here. Bengals would probably be number 2. In the NFC, Brian Daboll maybe. Got a lot of moving parts there if Jackson Dart doesn't work out. Let me think. Jonathan Gannon maybe, if the Cardinals have another mediocre year. Which again, I like Jonathan Gannon. I think he could be a very solid coach in the NFL, but things have just not gone his way. Is there anyone else that I can... Goodness me, excuse me. Steelers maybe. They could maybe finally realize that Mike Tomlin is not winning you a Super Bowl. I mean, the job is his until he wants to retire, I guess, but Mike Tomlin just is not the guy. So Steelers maybe. I don't know. 6 seems like a lot to me right now. But I think... Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe 4 or 5. I can't think of 6 right off the top of my head. Number 32, Broncos rookie running back R.J. Harvey will amass more than 1,600 yards from scrimmage. I disagree completely. I'm not a huge believer in R.J. Harvey. I don't think that's happening, especially with Sean Payton as their coach. The way that Sean Payton operates from the run game, not a chance. Number 33, the Carolina Panthers will not finish last defensively in 2025. I agree with that. I think they made some serious improvements on the defensive side of the ball, even though they were mostly marginal moves. I think they did enough to not be the worst. I think that goes to Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to have a really bad defense this year. Number 34, a person who lists their primary occupation as NFL mascot will be arrested for stealing over-the-counter cold medicine from a pharmacy. You know what? Sure. Sure. Why not? Number 35, the Eels Tush Push montage will become one of the most watched videos ever produced by an NFL team. Yeah. Probably. Number 36, the NFL will begin to leave the United Kingdom behind. I disagree. I think Roger Goodell really likes the United Kingdom and is a big fan of the London games. So, yeah, I don't see this happening. Number 37, the Bird Gauntlet will become a thing in 2025. Is someone eligible for that this year? I don't think anyone's eligible for the Bird Gauntlet. And also, there's a U that's missing there. The Bird Gauntlet. Let's see here. This is not just something your perpetually high roommate talks about on Reddit anymore. The Rams play the disproportionate amount of bird teams this year with their usual 2 matchups each against the Seahawks and Cardinals, plus dates with the Falcons, Eagles, and Ravens. If the Rams go under 500 against bird teams, I will commission a savvy meme child to superimpose Sean McVay's head. Alright. The Rams, I guess, are eligible for the Bird Gauntlet, which is where you face all 5 bird teams, and no one has ever completed it, by the way. We got really close a couple of years ago. Someone went 4 out of 5. I don't remember who it was. And also, fun fact about the Bird Gauntlet, you can only do it if you are an NFC team. So AFC teams will never be able to do it. So that's fun. Number 38, scheduled release videos will become a corporatized Disney-fed chop salad of nothingness. Yeah. Yep. You know, that's 100% correct. Honestly, I don't really like to talk about AI much, but wouldn't be shocked if scheduled release videos just become AI slop. But again, probably not very appropriate for the kind of content I make on this channel. So we will move past that. Number 39, holiday touchdown. A Bills love story will fail to capture the magic of its predecessor done with the Kansas City Chiefs. Probably, yeah. Number 40, Jalen Milroe will score at least 3 rushing touchdowns. Sure, I think that's fine. Benjamin St-Juste will become a tackle for loss machine on the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't think that Mr. Orr here and I have the same opinion of Benjamin St-Juste as a player. I would be surprised if he sees the field. Number 42, the Baltimore Ravens will win the AFC North. I don't think that's bold. I think that's just how it is. Number 43, Malachi Starks will win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think that's fair. Nothing surprising there. Number 44, an annoying sports writer will wage a campaign that is both extremely annoying and necessary to get Shane Lecker into the Hall of Fame on his first ballot. That person is me. Yeah, sure. You know what? If this is your prerogative, Connor, I believe this guy's name is Connor Orr. I hope I'm remembering his name right. Again, this is my first time reading through this, so I apologize to the author if I've already forgotten your name. But if this is your prerogative, man, I support you 1,000%. Number 45, Drew Brees, Marshall Yanda, and Larry Fitz will be voted in as Hall of Famers. I think that's completely fair. I think Marshall Yanda should have got in last year on his first ballot. Or no, Marshall Yanda is eligible this year as his first ballot. I don't know who I'm thinking of last year that was a offensive lineman that qualified. I think I might be misremembering there on Marshall Yonda. But, yeah, this is completely fair. Number 46, Patrick Mahomes' contract will sneak through another season as a confounding financial mystery. Yeah, sure. Sure. Number 47, Aaron Rodgers will actually have a good season, or a good reason, not a nefarious or overly intellectualized one, for delaying his signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, he signed with the Steelers recently, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember what his reasoning was for delaying it. So, you'll have to let me know in the comments. How did this take age at 47? Number 48, a mysterious Cowboys injury will be traced back to a heated game of ping pong at the table, which was brought back into the locker room by a new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, to increase competitiveness. Sure, why not? Number 49, only one of Houston's 2023 draft stars, C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson Jr., will sign a market-topping contract extension after the 2026 NFL season, and it's probably Will Anderson. It's probably Will Anderson. I'm going to be real. Will Anderson is going to make a lot of money. Will Anderson's really, really good. That's my prediction. Is that Will Anderson will get a massive extension. C.J. Stroud probably won't reset the market. Probably. We'll see what happens. Number 50, we will actually watch Olympic-style flag football and realize it's not really football. Yeah. Number 51, Cam Ward will put up the following numbers during his rookie season: 63% completion, 31 24 yards, 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 225 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a reasonable stat line for Cam Ward. Number 52, Will Levis will look absolutely unbelievably ridiculously good in the preseason. I think this is also a perfectly fine take. I don't think Will Levis is the worst quarterback in the world, and I wouldn't be shocked if he gets traded to a quarterback-needy team before the end of the season. Should someone lose their quarterback to injury, I think Will Levis could be on the move. So I think that's a fair take. Number 53, Tyler Warren's number of red zone touchdown passes will be uncomfortably close to that of Anthony Richardson. Sure. Completely sure. Number 54, Jeff Ulbrich will win the NFL Assistant of the Year award. Sure. This was the Jets' interim head coach after Robert Saleh was fired, and was not the worst coach in the league. So I think that's a fair take there at 54. 55, Commissioner Roger Goodell will secretly place third in a local Hyrix competition. I don't know what that means. Not a clue, so that's fine. Number 56, an executive from the Oklahoma City Thunder will be hired by an NFL team. Honestly, I think that's fair. I'm going to actually do one better here. I'm going to try and predict who it would be that would hire a basketball GM. Well, not a GM, but a basketball executive onto an NFL team. And 3 stick out to me right away: Eagles, Rams, Vikings. I think those are the 3 to look out for that. So those are my predictions. The Eagles, the Rams, or the Vikings will be the one to sign a basketball executive to their NFL team. Number 57, the Detroit Lions will win 10 games. Yeah, I think that's fair. Especially losing 2 starters on the interior of their offensive line. I think the Lions are due for regression, so I think that's fair. Number 58, the split of games started by Giants quarterbacks will look like this: Russell Wilson 13, Jameson Winston 2, Jackson Dart 2. I disagree. I don't think Jameson Winston's going to start, even once. So I think it'll be 13 for Wilson, 4 for Dart. Well, actually, I think it'll be 11 for Wilson, 6 for Dart. That's my prediction. Number 55, Justin Fields will throw for a career high in yards and touchdowns. Maybe I'm not super sold on Justin Fields or the Jets, but I'm willing to be proven wrong, so I'll put a solid maybe there. Let's see. Number 60, Brock Bowers will finish with fewer catches, yards, and first downs than he did a year ago, but he will log more touchdowns as the Raiders come to grips with every team getting incredibly physical with the record-breaking tight end who saved Las Vegas' 2024 season from complete irrelevance. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think he'll have quite as spectacular a year as he did last year, especially because Geno Smith is a much different quarterback than Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. But I think very, very solid season for Brock Bowers, regardless. Number 61, as the realities of NIL become increasingly clear, more former NFL legends will take on small-time college head coaching jobs as ego-boosting pet projects. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Terrell Owens is the head coach of Troy. Yeah, that sounds like something Terrell Owens would do. Yep. Absolutely. Shedeur Sanders will finish the preseason with a higher quarterback rating than Dylan Gabriel. Sure, why not? I don't think it matters. I don't think it means anything, but sure. 63, James Cook will sign a contract that puts him between Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley in terms of average annual value. Sure, I think that's fair. Nothing extremely crazy there. Number 64, Chop Robinson will have a double-digit sack season. Sure. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's perfectly fair. 65, DK Metcalf will have at least one press coverage where he intimates that it's difficult to know when and why Aaron Rodgers throws him the ball. Sure, why not? I love chaos. Chaos is fun. Sure, let's go for it. 66, the Kansas City Chiefs' leading rusher for 2025 will not be on the team's roster at the publication of this piece. This was published May 28th, by the way. So, yeah, I agree completely. I am not a believer in Isaiah Pacheco, at all. I think Rashad Smith is an interesting pickup from UDFA, or was he a 7th rounder, something like that. And at the end of wherever, just kind of a dart throw, but I think Rashad Smith is interesting. But yeah, I don't think their leading rusher is on the team right now. Number 67, J.J. McCarthy will put up the following numbers in year one as an NFL starter: 34-31, 67% completion is a lot. 26 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions, nothing about rushing, which I guess is fine. He's not like the most mobile guy in the world, but he did use his legs a little at Michigan, so, maybe like 85 rushing yards. Yeah, I think these are perfectly fine numbers. I think that's about where I would put it as well. I'd probably put it like 28 touchdowns. I think 28 and 11, 65% completion. I'd probably turn the completion percentage down a little bit. 67 seems really, really high, but I think that's fine. Number 68, Bucky Irving will finish the 2025 season as a top 5 player in fantasy football. Completely fair take. I think Bucky Irving, I did not believe in much at all coming out. I had serious concerns about him as a player. I was proven completely wrong, which makes it all the more terrible that in Dynasty Fantasy Football I drafted Will Shipley 2 picks before Bucky Irving. So, what do I know? Number 69, nobody say it. The Philadelphia Eagles will win the NFC East. I don't think that's bold. I think that's just how it is. Number 70, and John Gruden will get a head coaching job in college. I think that's completely fair. I think that is completely fair. I think John Gruden makes sense as a college coach. Number 71, at least 3 teams will work out Justin Tucker over the course of the season. I don't think so. I think Justin Tucker is completely washed, and the allegations surrounding him make it basically impossible to bring him on. Like, he's 39 years old or something like that. Like, no, I don't, like, even as desperate as the NFL gets with these things where they want to go after known commodities despite off the field issues. Justin Tucker was so bad last year that I don't believe that one. Number 72, the Los Angeles Rams will trade for an offensive playmaker before the November 5th deadline. I don't think so, unless it's like a backup running back. I don't really believe that one. Number 73, you'll find a box inside the attic of your parents' house. Well, my parents don't have an attic, so this does not apply to me. Number 74, Panay Sewell will win the inaugural Protector of the Year award. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a solid pick for this brand new award that they just added at the last owners meeting. There is now an official NFL award for the best offensive lineman in the league, which hopefully they expand to both the interior and the tackles, right? Because if this award is going to exist, an offensive lineman on the inside is probably never going to win it. So I hope this is just the start of adding more recognition for offensive linemen. So I would also love to see a best rookie offensive lineman award, because honest to God, Rashawn Slater should have won Rookie of the Year last year. I'm just going to say it. Number 75, the connection between LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier and his father, Saints offensive coordinator Doug Nussmeier, will become a significant pre-draft storyline. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fair. I don't think Garrett Nussmeier is going to be a guy you want to take first overall in the draft, but I could definitely see that becoming a storyline. Jahmyr Gibbs will win Offensive Player of the Year. I think Offensive Player of the Year is going to be a quarterback this year. The MVP award obviously has become a quarterback award. But something just speaks to me in my soul that we're going to have some serious quarterback play this year. So I think this will be a quarterback. I can understand why you're picking Gibbs for this, but to me, I don't feel it. Number 77, there will only be 3 new playoff teams from a year ago. The statistics don't line up with this. Statistically, 50% of playoff teams do not repeat. Well, I think the actual math is like 46% or something like that, but you round up, whatever, who cares? Mathematically, I simply can't agree with this one. But we'll see. Anything can happen in the NFL. Number 78, Jaden Higgins will lead rookie wide receivers in yards from scrimmage. Sure, why not? I like Jaden Higgins a lot. There's a big opportunity there for him, I suppose. Sure, why not? Number 79, NBA champion Jalen Brunson will lead the New York Jets out of the tunnel on opening day against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, this did not age very well. Number 80, Mac Hollins will have a harder time convincing his new teammates not to wear shoes. I don't know anything about the lore for that, so that's just a fun one. 81, a tedious NFL long read will drop in Week 16 that details and villainizes Nick Sirianni for benching Saquon Barkley amid his record pursuit in Week 18 last year. Sure, why not? They love to drum up stories. Number 82, Drake May will finish with the highest PFF grade among all quarterbacks drafted in 2024. I agree completely. Not that I care about PFF grades, at all, but I'm a huge believer in Drake May. Huge believer in Drake May. The way I had my quarterbacks ranked at the end of 2024, and I hope I put this out on my channel at some point, because I did a lot of scouting for 2024, more than I ever have for any other draft class. And the order that I finalized my quarterbacks on was Drake May, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels. Those were my 4. In that order, it was Drake May, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels. Those were my 4 in that order. Drake May, I think, is incredible, has the potential to be an absolute superstar. I question how the disaster that was the Patriots last year is going to affect his development going forward, but he is still pretty young, so we'll see. But I would love to see Drake May succeed. Number 83, Travis Hunter will play on offense 3 times as often as he plays on defense. This is looking to be true, based on early reports in training camp. So, not entirely unfounded there. Number 84, George Payton of the Broncos, Brandon Beane of the Bills, John Spytek of the Raiders, John Schneider of the Seahawks, Joe Horitz of the Chargers, and Elliott Wolf of the Patriots will be top candidates for Executive of the Year. George Payton, I could see. I'm not super sold on Spytek, Schneider, or Elliott Wolf, or Brandon Beane. Joe Horitz, I don't really know a lot about. I don't really pay attention to the Chargers all that much. Like, yeah, they drafted Amarian Hampton and Trey Harris and a couple other guys that I like, but I don't really look at like their off season much. All that, like, I don't know. I don't know enough to say anything about Joe Horitz, but George Payton, sure. George Payton, sure. Number 85, Walter Nolan will lead all rookies in tackles for loss and all rookie defensive tackles and sacks. Sure. I don't remember what team he's on, but sure. I think he might be on the Steelers or something. I don't know. Number 86, Micah Parsons will win Defensive Player of the Year award. I don't have a lot of faith in the Cowboys defense this year, but maybe that makes it all the better for Micah Parsons to have the opportunity to just get ridiculous stats, because, who else is going to do it? So, yeah, you know what? I can see that. Number 87, the Bears will win 8 games. I think that's reasonable. I agree. Number 88, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the NFC South again. I agree with that as well. I think Tampa Bay is sneaky, very good. Defensively especially. I think there's a lot to like about what that team's doing. Number 89, CBS will experiment with a broadcast featuring 50% AI sparrow. I don't know how to pronounce that. 2 Super 1 PM with bottom-rung NFL franchises along the East Coast in some window. Oh, that must be an announcer for CBS. I see. An AI version of their announcer? I would hope not. I don't think so. But again, if I start talking about AI, it's not going to end well. So we're going to avoid that conversation. Number 90, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will call it quits. I am not, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a person that pays attention to Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce, so I don't know if there's any backing to this claim, but, maybe that's for you to decide, dear viewers. Number 91, 2 head coaches will be fired in season. I think that's fair. Number 92, amid a cultural rebuild centered around selflessness, Jets coach Aaron Glenn will forcibly retire Jumbotron Diva and attention hog Fireman Ed. I'm not well versed in the lore of the New York Jets fan base. I understand Fireman Ed has a couple of controversies I remember seeing that showed up on Twitter. So if any Jets fans are out there, let me know how this is going to go. Number 93, a full-scale investigation will be launched into the Triple O or the Land of the Free sung by John John Batiste at Super Bowl LAX in New Orleans. Sure, why not? 94, an old high school girlfriend of yours will post pictures of her husband and young children on Instagram in matching jerseys of a team you know she did not used to root for. Well, I only had one high school girlfriend, and she does not have Instagram. So, again, this one does not apply to me. Maybe it applies to some of you. Number 95, Bears coach Ben Johnson will struggle to find his hat rhythm in Chicago. I think Ben Johnson can figure out his hat game. I have faith in Ben Johnson to do that. So, I disagree with number 95. 96, Michael Penix Jr. will have a 6-touchdown game in 2025. I disagree. I don't think that's happening. Seems very unlikely to me. Number 97, Andrew Van Ginkel will have a pick 6 on the opening defensive possession of the Viking season. Sure, why not? Why not? Why not? 99, you will sacrifice one Sunday of parlays and donate the money to an excellent charity that does some good in the universe. You know what? I think that's a great idea. I think that's an incredible idea. All of you out there, if you're looking to do some parlays this year, take that money, donate it to a food bank. I don't want to get on here and vouch for charities that I don't know enough about, but, you know, a food bank is probably on the list of, you can probably trust these guys. But, you know, find a charity, do your research, and take that money and do some good in this world, because God knows we need it. Number 99, a practice squad player in street clothes will be caught vaping on the sidelines during a game. I think we've already seen that a few times, actually, I think. But you know what? Yeah, I love chaos, so that I can agree with. I can get behind. Number 100, you will learn an important life lesson from Bill Belichick that is not in his book. I hope I'm not taking life advice from Bill Belichick. I'm not going to lie to you. Again, it's not a topic I really want to dive too deeply into, but my opinion of Bill Belichick has really tanked in recent months. But yeah, that has been 100 bold predictions for the 2025 NFL season, posted by Connor Orr over on Sports Illustrated. Again, I encourage you to go and read it for yourself if you are interested. And as always, I thank you very much for watching. I hope to speak with you all again soon. And goodbye for now.